All right, class, welcome to the Reebok Pump Fantasy Draft Camp. Lesson 1, know your league. Does your league have 4-point or 6-point passing touchdowns? Is there PPR, half-point or full point? How many roster spots does your bench have? How many teams are in the league? Yeah.
Why does it matter how many teams are in the league?
Well, there's only so many useful players if you've got a standard lineup of quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 to 3 wide receivers, a flex, a tight end, kicker, defense. The ideal number here is 12 teams. That gives you a nice competitive balance. 10 teams is a little bit too easy to fill out a lineup. 14 just a little bit too hard. 8-team leagues are for children. Yeah.
What about 16-team leagues?
16-team leagues are for when your office decides to have a fantasy league. Only Nancy from HR doesn't cut it off, and so everybody signs up and they just decide to have a 16-team league because it's even though it's an abomination in the eyes of God. Yeah.
So why is there debate about how much a passing touchdown is worth?
Because there's no consensus on the sites that have fantasy football. On CBS and NFL.com, it's 6 points for a passing touchdown. On ESPN and Yahoo, it's 4 points. Personally, I like a 4-point passing touchdown. Quarterbacks already score way more points than any other position, so 4 points give you a little bit more of a competitive balance. Yeah.
Yeah, but if passing touchdowns are worth the same for every quarterback, does it really matter if they're 6 or 4?
Some quarterbacks throw a lot more touchdown passes than others. In a 6-point passing touchdown league, the average quarterback is going to score 3 more points per game. But elite quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers could be scoring as much as 5 more points per game. So the effect of a 6-point passing league is that elite quarterbacks become way more important. The other effect of a 6-point passing touchdown league is that running quarterbacks tend to be devalued because their rushing touchdowns aren't more important than their passing touchdowns. So if you've got a 6-point passing touchdown league, you need to draft guys like Cam Newton or Russell Wilson a round or 2 rounds later than they'd ordinarily go. Yeah.
How does PPR change my draft strategy?
Not as much as you'd think. If you've got a 1-point PPR league, with all else being equal, the difference between a receiver who catches 80 passes in a season and one who catches 100 is just 20 points over the course of an entire season. That's like 3 touchdowns over 15, 16 games, or just like 12 yards per game. The only players whose draft position is going to be affected by PPR are going to be high-volume slot receivers like Julian Edelman or pass-catching running backs. The biggest effect of a PPR league is that wide receivers are going to score a greater percentage of the total fantasy points, so your draft strategy should reflect that. You should be picking up that 3rd wide receiver for a flex position before you draft a 3rd running back. Yeah.
Should we be thinking about the other people in our league and how they affect our draft strategy?
You can get an advantage on your opponents if you understand their draft strategies and their weaknesses. For example, who here has a stupid Cowboys fan in their league? Yeah, exactly. Every league has a dumb Cowboys fan. If you're drafting 8th overall and the Cowboys fan is drafting ahead of you at 7, guess what? You know that Dez Bryant's gonna be gone. That should affect your 1st-round draft strategy. What else do you know about your opponents? Have they talked about how badly they want to get that elite quarterback? Do they eschew running backs in order to get their hands on elite wide receivers? Do they make internet videos that publicize their draft strategies? God, I hate this job. Think about these things and how they apply to your league settings. Yeah.
I joined an IDP league. How does that change my strategy?
Yeah, just mortgage everything to get JJ Watt. Everybody else is interchangeable. Next.
What about like a 2-quarterback league?
What now?
You know, a league where you have to start 2 quarterbacks every week.
Get out of my classroom. Get out! This camp is for people who are serious about fantasy football. 2-quarterback league.